here at Valkop Dam Nature Reserve. Looking forward to a nice day's fishing. It is part of the aquatic monitoring project of EcoCare Trust, and we hope that it will be good fishing today.
We have some lovely weather here, and we will be targeting some carp, barbel and blue grouper, and doing it on art lure. So basically anything we see, we catch on lure. So let's go club some fish.
Let's go.
So we're going to start with pitching these rocks and working them with the ABBA Aura winch, as well as a ABBA Villain heavy action rod. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, no, looking forward. I've got here a dipping rod with a nice pen fathom reel, and what I use for a lure is a jig in front of the rod. Here in front of his idle structure for barbel, you can see the rocks and the birds on the rocks.
Eventually we saw this one tailing in the shallows. Its tails was literally sticking out of the water, and I struggled to reach it, but finally I could get close enough. I placed it well, and immediately it was onto the leadhead, sucked it up, and I picked up, and now I'm on. Now I have to fight it quite gently, as I don't want the hook to rip out of the carp's soft mouth. We are using the Mitchell Privilege Pro dipping rod. It's a 15-foot telescopic rod, which is very nice for catching carp on site or even on bubbers. Coupled with a Abu Revo S, and we have some 20-pound fire line on here.
Right, nice, good, nice one, huh?
We have it.
Yeah, three and a half kgs.
You can see we have a nice fat specimen that I've just caught, fat carp. It sucked up the Berkeley powerbait maggots ferociously and gave quite a good tussle. Now let's release this beauty. To cast at the carps feeding on bubbers, I am using an Abu Veracity medium action rod, which is very nice. I'm very pleased with it, as well as the Abu Cardinal and Berkeley Nano for a 10-pound line. That gives me good casting distance. Okay, I saw this bobber lying there in the shallows, so I pitched at it, and it came up, searched for it, and then grabbed my lure, and everything turned to chaos. As you can see, it's quite a strong fish. It pulled me very hard, but I got it. threw out the lure. I caught it using the Abu Villain rod. I must say this rod is very impressive. It handled itself very well with this root, as well as the Aura winch, Abu Aura winch. Quite a strong reel, has like a big handles to help you apply pressure. And the fire line also played a nice role and delivered the fish. So, happy angler, another fish on the boat. Pretty decent barbel, gave me a good fight on the Abu Villain rod. Probably 4 kilos, maybe 5 if I'm very lucky. But yes, it's pulled me, eh? Like a fish, let's release it for another day. Okay.
Right. You on?
Yeah, good.
Okay, so I just saw the carp tailing in between a lot of them. Nice orange lips feeding, and I dipped my lead head and on.
Hello.
Yes, but it's running me. I used the dipping method here. This is when you see the carp tailing in the shallows, and you use this long rod to place your lead head or jig head very silently in front of the carp. Yes, this carp is strong. As soon as I dipped the lead head in front of the carp, it immediately swam toward it and sucked it up very aggressively. It's very important that you fight the carp very gently because it has a very soft mouth. So all I'm doing is giving it slack when it wants to run, and the rest of the time I just pump it in. Still has some fight left in it.
Hy is zwaar. Hy is zwaar.
Yes. Big one. So here I have probably my second biggest carp I've ever caught on lure. 8 kg specimen. Gave me a very good fight, pulled hard, took a lot of line, swam far out. We even had to follow the trolling motor. I'm very excited and amped to release this beauty again. Thank you.
I'm on. I've dipped a barbel. That's 10 fathom, and it's giving me a good fight with a jig on the head on the line. And this is Berkeley Whiplash braid. A very smooth drag on the reel, and it's just taking line. All right, in it. All right, now this is about a 7 kg cat. I just caught now a very, very nice fight, and I think it's a good time to release it now. The reason why I keep the rod that high, I want the fish to stay on the surface, not to go down. Because if you go down, then it's going into structure. I've hooked in a huge blue copper. We can just hope that he stays on. But this is definitely the biggest one thus far. Yay! That is a huge one.
He's massive.
I've caught this, and it was a school of blues, and I cast through the school with a jig and a Berkeley powerbait maggot, working it slowly through the school, and this huge blue come and take the lure. It's a very nice catch. I'm very lucky to have a catch like this. Right, we're back at the shore and we had a good day in the water. I think Rudolph, the blue curbs especially, was very, very good today.
Yeah, they played along nicely.
Yeah, and so we're heading back now to our camp. Have a nice brine and a nice relaxing evening.
How are you doing, sir?
Good.
Great.
Well, we're here this morning with Ulrich and Jan, and we're going to do a bit of conventional bank angling for barbel this morning.
Yep.
In the beautiful city of Bloem, city of roses, and barbel apparently.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, so it's going to be a nice day. We've got a trailer full of tackle we're going to hook and head off to the dam. We've just arrived at this beautiful Curious Drift Dam, approximately 40 kilometers outside Bloem, and the guys are all psyched up. And Ulrich, what's the game plan for today?
Rudolph, this specific spot, it's got quite a few barbel. So if everything goes according to plan, we might be getting some nice, most probably 5 to 10, 15 kilo barbels.
Jan loves catching barbel.
Yeah, I love them. Stuff fighters, I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, no, like Jan says, the barbel is the shark of the dam, and it's exciting fight, exciting fish to catch. Definitely not the most beautiful fish in the dam, but we don't mind.
Yeah.
They take line and they fight. So I'm excited to catch him in. And I just want to add that barbel is a very important aspect of bank angling. Now, when they fish league and competitions, it's good points for them. So they don't just catch him for the fun as well. It's also serious stuff for them when it comes to leagues. And these guys know how to catch his big barbel. But guys, let's get going and catch a few fish.
The basic setup for barbel would be a trilene, let's say 0.40, 40 pounds. And we're looking at owner hooks. This will be a typical 2.0. You can go up to a 3.40, especially when you're fishing with bigger baits like fish heads and fillets. The piece of lead that we're using is an odd, let's say 70, 80 grammer. As soon as you go higher than that, it's going to start getting top heavy and very difficult to cast. Typical reel, you want to use a nice biggish reel so you can get the extra distance when needed, and of course extra line onto it. We're looking at a typical trilene max 0.30, 0.28 in that line, and that will be more than enough to pull out a barbel of 10, 15, even 20 kilos. 13-foot rod, I'm using the Coptex, Berkeley Coptex, 3.5 pound. You need something with a little bit more backbone getting the bait into the water. Alright, this is a carp that I'll be using. We're going to be using its fillet and its head. Get a nice pair of scissors, and the idea is to cut it across here, from this side to there. Now another important part is getting these two hooks in. The one you want to put at the bottom jaw over here. You'll be hooking it through there. and the following hook on top over there. And this will be your basic setup. First proper bite for the morning. Picked me up, had a run, dropped a piece of bait. It was a big bait, it's the head. So if it was a smaller barbel, it might have dropped it and a bigger one got hold of it. Nice 7.8 kilo barbel, first one for the day. Here you can see the hook set nice in the scissors of its mouth. And yeah, here's the evidence, the bait. Ahead, barbel just can't leave it.
Okay, Jan, you're taking a bit of a chance with a thinner line, yeah? but I understand why you're doing it, because we've got a strong wind blowing straight into our faces, and distance is quite critical here. The fish are far out, and Jan decided to go with a 5-pound trilene max.
What I'm doing now is I'm taking the barbel into the shallow water so that my pegmate Ulrich can just turn its head. I'm going to let the line go and it will swim into the net, as easy as that. If you can look at now, there's the fish. All I'm going to do is I'm going to give some line. Oh! Yeah!
Well done, bud.
Well, Jan, well done.
Thanks,
That's an awesome fish. You know, and what we need to understand is this is only 2.5 kilos of line, and we've got a fish of close to 8 kilos here, fighting in structure. There's a bit of trees and weed around, so it's an awesome fight. It took Jan a good half an hour to just struggle that fish. Well done, man.
Yeah.
It's a nice to see you land that fish.
One of my 30 minutes best in life.
Well done. Okay, well, it's my turn at last, and I must admit I just grabbed Jan's other rod while he's busy getting ready to cast, but I just couldn't stand here watching them catching all the barbel. Early morning, late afternoons, the barbel like to come in here and sort of hunt the bait fish. Yeah, and that's why we concentrate on these areas when we fish for barbel, specifically fish these runs and bays with the deeper gutters. So you can't just go anywhere in the dam and expect to catch him. Obviously, if you want to get the quality fish and the quantity,
Yes.
you got to target these areas.
And what's something that's very, very important is, like picking a spot, is you have to see the activity of the fish. If you don't see activities, there's a reason why there's no activities. Salah size. Oh my friend, that's a beautiful one. A beauty.
Thank you, Vinny. The shark of the dam.
Once again.
The guys reckon this fish about 10 kilos, and I'll agree with that. Nice on the light tackle. Well, for them it's heavy tackle, for me that was light tackle. Awesome fight. And Ulrich?
Well done, well
Yeah,
done.
thank
Rudolph.
you.
Nice specimen.
Yeah. There's apparently a few interesting facts of barbel. Do you want to chat to us about that?
Alright, Rudolph, barbel is an indigenous fish. A few interesting facts is if you have a look at its whiskers, it picks up vibration, so it's a very, very good hunter.
Okay.
You think it's not a good hunter if you have a look at its eyes. Its eyes is as small as...
Yeah, they're very, very small.
They're so small, they're really so small, and a lot of people think, well, how can a fish like this hunt? And of course, like I said, they hunt while picking up vibrations. If you have a look at its mouth, it's got razor sharp teeth, and it's almost like very rough sanding paper, and when it grabs hold of its prey, it doesn't let go. It just can't get out of its mouth, and he then obviously gulps it down.
So Ulrich, what you're basically saying is they can't see that well, but they can smell very well.
Yeah,
And they've got these, like a sea fish, have got a lateral line to pick up vibrations.
Yeah.
All these tentacles here,
Yeah,
I
the
can
whiskers.
The whiskers, I can see 8 of them.
Yes.
They use them to feel and smell together. So
Exactly.
that's why you guys use
exactly.
smelly baits. And it doesn't matter if you make a noise for barbel, they'll be attracted to your bait.
Yeah.
Because they use those senses instead of looking for the bait, they go on smell and feel.
And feel, yeah. Well, if a lot of the art lure guys use poppers and they use pumpkin seeds to attract the fish. Like you said, like the fish in the ocean, it's got lateral lines.
Yeah.
This boy's got the whiskers. And yeah, over here is his nostrils. So he picks up smell very well.
And something I can just add about barbel, which I know, and I'm sure most South Africans know, it's extremely tough fish. They're very rugged, very tough, and that's why there's so many of them in our systems. Because I can survive so many conditions. Even lying here on the ground, it doesn't harm them at all. They're not like our fish. We're going to be very careful. So it's a nice rugged fish, tough fish, strong fish, and I really enjoy catching them.
I'm going to quickly explain to you how Rudolph and I caught that barbel. Just a normal piece of carp fillet that I've taken off the scales, a little bit like that. I've traced my sliding hook. All I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it through there, and that's how I'm fishing it. Just like that, as easy as that.
The only difference to what I'm doing now than previously is I'm putting a little bit of a attractor to the bait, which is a halibut and crab, and I'm just rubbing it in with my fingers into the piece of fillet, like that. This feels like a much better fish. My indicator is a mile into the water. I just couldn't stop this fish. I'm sitting with a decent fish. The front drag is so important. Super smooth. Exactly what the Mitchell's giving a person. Mitchell Avarunner.
Boy! Well done, Nuri. The
Thanks,
bass.
mate. Well done. This is what we came for, eh? This is definitely what we came for. Much better size. Much better size. Have a look where the hook got it. Perfect hookup. The bait that I had on was the fillet with the additive, and yeah, he couldn't resist it. He couldn't resist it. So at the end of the day, the extra additive that we're putting onto the bait is definitely making a difference. This is what it's all about. Screaming reels, big fish, double up.
I think the boys had enough fun today. We caught some awesome fish, had some screaming reels, nice big fish. Time now to pack up. This wind just blowing us away here. Go, head off home, light the fire and have a few ice cold beers. Well, we're here at Ulrich's house after excellent day's fishing. Ulrich's spoiling us with a nice braai and some nice refreshments. And it was an awesome day, Jan. We started off quite slowly, but you taught us a bit of patience. Something I learned.
Patience will prevail.
Yeah.
It was excellent. I couldn't ask for a better day. 10 kilo barbel on 5 pound line. Ulrich.
No, well, I got lucky. At the end of the day, I think it was about an hour left before we would have packed up. And the reel went screaming, and on the other end, it was really a proper tuck and pull situation. And it most probably took about 30-40 meters of line, and then I only got it turned. Getting the fish out at the end of the day, very nice. So 15 kilos.
Awesome fish.
And yeah, it was an interesting day. The wind was howling, but it was really a spectacular day. We couldn't ask for better. It was worth it.
Guys, all I can say from my side, thank you so much for taking me with you guys. It was an awesome experience. I learned a lot today again from you guys, but bank angling and another facet of bank angling, which is barbel angling. And I hope we can do this again soon. So from my side, thank you so much. I enjoyed it much.
Oh, it's a pleasure.